There's nothing quite like the world's most famous landmarks to capture our collective imagination. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the Great Wall of China, and Stonehenge are iconic symbols that adorn countless postcards. But have you ever wondered how long it took to build these incredible structures? Don't hesitate to subscribe for more journeys across history. Today we're taking a closer look at the construction timelines of some of these famous landmarks. Before attempting to build any of them, make sure to read all the instructions carefully. Now, we all know the saying Rome wasn't built in a day, and it holds true for the majestic Coliseum. It took about 7 to 8 years to complete this grand amphitheater. Emperor Vespasian initiated the project around 72 CE to establish the legitimacy of the Flavian dynasty. Although Vespasian didn't live to see its completion, his son Titus dedicated the Colosseum the following year with 100 days of games. That may sound like a lot, but it's still shorter than a regular baseball season. Come on, Titus, open up your wallet. Constructing the Colosseum required an enormous amount of labor, with an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 enslaved individuals involved in quarrying the stone and building the structure. Considering the Colosseum's enduring legacy and imposing presence, it's remarkable how quickly it was finished. Nowadays, it feels like it takes 3 times as long just to fix a pothole. In the mid-5th century BCE, Athens was flourishing after a triumphant victory over the Persians. During this prosperous period, the renowned leader Pericles embarked on an ambitious construction project on the Acropolis, the city's elevated citadel. Despite fears of lengthy construction and traffic congestion, Athenian citizens were pleasantly surprised. Construction of the main building, the Parthenon, a temple dedicated to Athena, started in 447 BCE and was completed in around 438 BCE. In just under 10 years, the Parthenon was erected, and the large gold and ivory statue of the goddess was installed inside. Plutarch even commented on the speedy construction in his Life of Pericles. Thank you, construction workers, for not causing too much traffic havoc. Let's travel even further back in time to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, which began around 2550 BCE. Once completed, this pyramid stood as the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,700 years. It only relinquished its title when St. Paul's Cathedral in London was finished in 1221. According to Herodotus, the Great Pyramid was built in just 20 years by work gangs of up to 100,000 people. However, while Herodotus was passionate about recording history, he was prone to occasional errors. Nevertheless, the Great Pyramid remains an awe-inspiring testament to human ingenuity. Scholars believe that the word gangs probably consisted of around 20,000 individuals, which is an incredibly massive crowd. No need to exaggerate like Herodotus did. However, they do not dispute the idea that these magnificent pyramids could have been completed in just 20 years. Contrary to popular belief, there is no evidence suggesting that enslaved people built the pyramids. Instead, it is more likely that the laborers were peasants who worked during the off-season and owed their labor to the pharaoh as part of a social contract. Let's be honest, it's pretty close to being enslaved if you ask me. It's definitely in the same zip code. Moving on to France, outside of Euro Disney, the Eiffel Tower stands tall as the country's most iconic landmark. It was conceived and constructed by French civil engineer Gustave Eiffel and his brilliant team for the 1889 Exposition Universelle in Paris. This exposition was a grand celebration of the French Revolution's centennial. And let me tell you, nothing says revolution like a colossal pointy tower. Using modern construction techniques, Eiffel and his team managed to raise the tower to a jaw-dropping height of 1,083 feet. This made it the tallest man-made structure in the world until the completion of the Chrysler Building in New York in 1930. And guess what? They accomplished this remarkable feat in just 22 months. That's less time than it took to make the TV show Lost. Can you believe it? A timeless national landmark versus 6 seasons of television nonsense. Oddly enough, they're probably worth the same amount in a gift exchange. This awe-inspiring marvel of construction was only possible because each of the 18,000 metal pieces used in its creation was meticulously crafted with extreme precision. This allowed for rapid assembly, and let me tell you, it was quite a sight to behold. According to journalist Émile Goudeau, who visited the construction site, a thick cloud of tar and coal smoke filled the air, choking his throat. The deafening noise of metal being worked beneath hammers assaulted his ears. Godot even witnessed workmen perched on a narrow ledge, wielding their iron bludgeons, taking turns striking the bolts. They reminded him of blacksmiths happily pounding away on an anvil in a quaint village. But there was a twist. Instead of striking vertically, their blows rained down horizontally, creating a shower of sparks. Against the backdrop of the open sky, these workers appeared larger than life, as if they were harvesting lightning bolts from the clouds. It's like the Eiffel Tower was built during a thunderstorm. Now let's jet off to Agra, India, where the awe-inspiring Taj Mahal awaits our arrival. This magnificent structure may look like a palace, but it's actually a mausoleum. It was commissioned in 1631 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a tribute to his late wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who tragically passed away during childbirth. Can you believe it took a whopping 20,000 laborers and 1,000 elephants to construct this colossal marble edifice? Construction began in 1632 and continued for 2 whole decades. That's a long time to essentially dig your partner's grave, but hey, when it comes to grand romantic gestures, this one takes the cake. And now let's venture to Beijing, China, where the Forbidden City once served as the imperial residence for the Chinese emperor and his court. While it may have been a forbidden place for the elite back in the day, nowadays, there's nothing particularly forbidden about it. In fact, nearly 14 million tourists flock to this historical treasure each year. The Forbidden City complex includes almost 1,000 buildings with a staggering 10,000 rooms. It was commissioned in 1406 CE by Emperor Yongle and took 14 years to complete, becoming the political center of Imperial China for nearly 500 years. Talk about making the most out of a construction project. It's no wonder that in 2018, the Forbidden City was valued at over $70 billion, making it the most valuable piece of real estate in the world. Now that's what I call a wise investment. The magnificent Gothic Cathedral, Notre Dame de Paris, made its grand debut in the enchanting Disney animated film, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, back in 1996. This architectural marvel was constructed on the illustrious Île de la Cité, a captivating island nestled in the Seine River. The visionary behind this grand endeavor was none other than Maurice Tussaud, the Bishop of Paris, who conceived the project in the remarkable year of 1160 CE. With the laying of the foundation stone in 1163, the journey to create this masterpiece began. Now let me tell you, they were in no rush to finish this extraordinary creation. The construction of Notre Dame stretched on for a whopping 90 years. Can you believe it? But hey, good things take time, right? By 1250, most of the structure was finally complete, but they just couldn't resist adding some fabulous additions for another century. Talk about attention to detail. Unfortunately, the French Revolution put our beloved cathedral in grave danger. It was almost lost forever, but thankfully, the one and only Napoleon stepped in to save the day. Phew! Then, in the mid-19th century, a remarkable restoration project breathed new life into Notre Dame. It was a true labor of love, my friends. Fast forward to more recent times, and tragedy struck our beloved Notre Dame. A devastating fire wreaked havoc on this incredible piece of history in April of 2019. However, fear not, for repairs and restorations are currently underway. The spirit of Notre Dame lives on, and we can't wait to see it restored to its former glory. Now let's shift gears and travel back in time to the ancient world, where the people of Rhodes had the most extraordinary way of celebrating their triumphs. Picture this, an enormous statue standing tall at a whopping 105 feet. This colossal wonder, known as the Colossus of Rhodes, was crafted to honor the Greek sun god, Helios. Back in 305 BCE, after the siege was lifted, the people of Rhodes were over the moon with joy, and what better way to express it than by constructing this awe-inspiring statue? Designed by the talented Harris Orlindios, the Colossus of Rhodes took a mere 12 years to complete. Yes, you heard that right. But my friends, fate had other plans. An earthquake struck about 56 years later, toppling this majestic marvel. The emperor offered to rebuild it, but the Oracle of Delphi had other ideas. They believed that the statue had offended Helios and nobody wanted to mess with a deity. So they gracefully left it in scattered fragments, understanding that some things are best left to the gods. Now let's head across the ocean to the vibrant city of New York, where the iconic Statue of Liberty proudly stands. And here's a little secret. We owe our heartfelt thanks to the French for this iconic landmark. In 1870, the talented French sculptor, Auguste Bartholdi, embarked on the journey of a lifetime. Inspired by the American Civil War and fueled by the desire to promote anti-slavery ideals, Bartoli designed the Statue of Liberty leading the people. After years of meticulous work, the statue's construction began in Paris in 1881. It was then disassembled, piece by piece, and shipped all the way to the United States in 1885. Just imagine the excitement and anticipation. However, like a puzzle missing its final piece, the construction of the pedestal faced some delays. Finally, in 1886, the project was completed on Bedloes Island, now known as Liberty Island. The Statue of Liberty became the shining beacon of freedom and friendship between the United States and France. Stonehenge, the enigmatic ancient monument that has captivated artists and musicians alike, stands proudly in Wiltshire, England. This world-renowned site was not built in a day or even a decade, but evolved over a staggering 1,500 years. Imagine this. Neolithic Britons kick-started the construction over 5 millennia ago, creating a massive circular ditch and bank on Salisbury Plain. Perhaps they were pioneers of innovative drainage systems? Centuries later, they added smaller bluestones and colossal sandstone slabs, crafting the iconic triliths that still leave us in awe today. These adjustments continued for centuries, shaping the very fabric of this historic landmark. Now let's journey to the other side of the world where the Great Wall of China stands tall. Brace yourself for a tale that spans thousands of years. This monumental masterpiece, intertwined with the rich tapestry of Chinese history, began as a series of fortifications in the 7th century BCE, courtesy of the Shu state. Fast forward to the 3rd century BCE, when China united under the Qin dynasty, and a monumental 10-year project ensued. Countless soldiers and laborers poured their sweat and toil into extending the wall, cementing its place in history. Over the following centuries, it endured cycles of repair, disrepair, and expansion, with the Ming dynasty spearheading the last great wave of construction and maintenance between the 14th and 17th centuries. However, as time went on, the wall sadly fell into disrepair, leaving behind colossal maintenance bills. So, next time you visit one of these famous landmarks, take a moment to appreciate the incredible effort and time invested in their construction. These extraordinary structures continue to captivate our imaginations and stand as enduring symbols of human achievement.